the 2000s, or when people thought that the computers will explode at the turn of the millennium. Well, that didn't happen, but what happened was that we got 4 more Oasis albums instead, and I'm going to talk about them in this video. I think a more fitting title would have been Standing in the Shadows of Giants, as Oasis never reached the same heights as on the first 2 albums again. Like, never. And you just have to keep those out of your heads to be fair regarding the following albums, just as this one. Which, by the way, is not that bad. It's much less bombastic and long as their last album and seems more like an actual try to make something original instead of just trying to make something bigger than What's the Story Morning Glory. The opener, In the Bushes, is a 4-minute instrumental piece and a cool opener. It also shows the new production on this album that's pretty fitting to the album because it sounds like a very good soundtrack for a movie in a grand city. I just get that feeling when I listen to it. It's also their fastest and most fun album since Definitely Maybe. Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is or I Can See a Liar go past faster than anything Oasis made on the previous 2 records. And now I have a question. How was Where It All Go Wrong not the lead single? It's the most radio-friendly song on here, with the possibly best chorus and a lovely vocal performance by Noel. Rolled Over would probably be the best song on the EP, with a great chorus and outro, but it just sounds so much like an extended version of The End by the Beatles that kinda ruins the song for me. So Gas Panic is my highlight instead. I was kind of surprised how much I liked Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, given it's just about the least successful album of the group, which might be because of its lack of a hit single. If you just go into it with an open mindset and look at it without the context of the first 2 LPs, it's a pretty good album. Not exceptional though. I had a good time listening to it, but I don't think to revisit it or any of its songs in the future. Remember when I told you that you should watch all of the later Oasis albums out of the context of the first 2 because they couldn't hold up to it? Well, I think for this one you just have to exclude all other music that you've ever heard from the context so you can enjoy it. It's just simply the best proper album since What's the Story Morning Glory. That's just what it is. I like Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, but while being very consistent, it doesn't have the kind of wonder that some songs here show at times. Andy Bell's 2 songs, Keep the Dream Alive and Turn Up the Sun, are 2 standouts for me. Turn Out the Sun especially is just magical. It starts the album with a warm guitar intro that sets a great stage for the bass to quietly enter the mix, before suddenly the loud second guitar enters in the verse, followed by Liam belting out, I carry a madness everywhere I go. Keep the Dream Alive is not that interesting, but I really like the riff that comes after the chorus and how it works with the chords behind it. Almost as if Andy Bell would have experience in writing songs for British rock bands. Most of the songs are still written by Noel though. The Importance of Being Idle is a completely written single with a cool solo. A highlight of his stuff here though is Pt.2, with defined atmosphere and a well-performed outro. Oh, and both songs are also sung by Noel, by the way. just as almost every second track since Heathen Chemistry. Don't Believe the Truth is overall definitely a step in the right direction and the band's best work in 10 years. You know, the weird thing is that if you had told me in 1995 that this would be the album that Oasis would be releasing 30 years later, I would have actually seen that. You know, if I had been like alive back then. Especially the first song, Back It Up, and the last, Soldier On, sound like an older, more adult version of Oasis that accepted that they aren't the young and wild anymore and evolved their rock sounds in regard of that fact. Shock of Lightning is obviously another standout, but my favorite on here has to be I'm Out of Time. Written by Liam. Well, I didn't see that coming. The chorus is just absolutely beautiful and melancholic, and I would say it's one of my top 3 favorite Oasis songs since 2000. Is Dig Out Your Soul better than Don't Believe the Truth? No, but it's not a step backwards either. It's a solid album showing Oasis still had it in them. So now at the end, if you want me to recommend you any albums by Oasis, I definitely tell you start with definitely maybe in What's the Story, Morning Glory, and The Master Plan as well, as those 3 are like peak Oasis. And if after that you still want to get into like the new stuff or like anything else apart from that, then I'd say Don't Believe the Truth is probably like the 3rd best actual studio album apart from the first 2. Yeah. Hey, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I have a very small channel, so every subscription would mean the world to me. Listen to my music on Spotify. You can find that under the name Arne Mente. And yeah, listen to music.